everybody, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies. Part 3, the finale. This is it.
Let's fucking go.
It took some time, but here we be. The end of the Tomorrowverse and an unknown future for DC animation. Part 1 was a jumbled mess. Part 2, even worse so I am not hyped for Part 3, but let's see if things improve. This is my honest opinion of Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths, Part 3. Just as the Anti-Monitor is about to kill the Justice League, Supergirl accidentally kills Monitor, which causes the satellite to unleash energy that takes the remaining Earths into the Bleed Dimension, which exists outside of the multiverse and temporarily safe from the Anti-Monitor. Despite the many months in hiding, the League is unable to find a true power to defeat the monster. However, time is running out as it manages to tear open holes into the Bleed and destroys the multiverses one at a time. Their only hope for salvation may lie in none other than Lex Luthor.
1 billion people have died all around me. No one should have to endure this.
Wow. I was not expecting that. That was actually a pretty solid conclusion. The pacing is still wonky as hell though. Certain characters only get screen time like toward the end of the story, making them feel tacked on. Some characters that you'd think would deserve a lot more screen time just really don't. So it's by no means perfect, but considering everything that came before, it's really not that bad. Now it doesn't start off that way, as we get a random-ass dinosaur attack mixed with some World War II soldiers that are just time-hopping. Admittedly, the action is pretty fun, though misses an opportunity for some serious violence. Remember how proud WAG was of their R-rated war world? That was actually quite tame by comparison to the likes of Apocalypse War and Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. What, suddenly DC was too skittish of showing people getting eaten by T-Rexes?
Wuss.
And there is some prolonged fluff with the Bat Fam taking on Nazis that managed to get their hands on tech that Batman's Rogues Gallery uses. But this is all just an excuse to get Bats onto the satellite so he can eventually track down Constantine.
Great. An army of vicious Nazi killers armed with the Rogue's deadliest weapons.
Speaking of which, I never mentioned this, but the bearded hobo prophet dude from parts 1 and 2, that was Constantine apparently. Didn't know that. Probably should have been obvious, but it wasn't to me. You know what? Stop everything, pausing the review to go on a tangent. Can you believe that this marks a full decade that Matt Ryan has been playing this character? Yeah, CW's Constantine was 10 bloody years ago. Where is the time going? That tragically only lasted one season, but he managed to live on in the Arrowverse as a cameo in, well, Arrow, Flash, Batwoman. Probably the only good thing about that show. And of course, became a regular on Legends of Tomorrow. And God bless Matt Ryan for transitioning from live action to animation during the New 52 run of WAG's movies. 10 years, guys. Look, I'm aware there's actors that just own the roles they get attached to. Kevin Conroy as Batman, Mark Hamill as Joker, Tara Strong as Harley Quinn. But Matt Ryan hits differently. I mean, there was no reason for WAG to use the man. They could have gotten any schmuck to voice the Hellblazer.
Hey, Tara!
No.
Tara!
No.
Tara!
No.
Hey, Gray.
No means no, Roger!
But they kept Matt, which I think is one of the unsung classy moments that Warner Brothers has to its name. Even when the Tomorrowverse kicked off and finally concluded, they didn't recast Constantine. It's still Matt! I don't think anyone else quite has the story that he does.
In my experience,
There are ways to get people to remember. Many ways.
Looks like I've gone deep, Barney.
Okay, so I feel like it's been a fun fan theory or assumption that the Tomorrowverse isn't just a reboot of the New 52 universe, but another Flashpoint paradox as hinted at by the end of Apocalypse War. But I don't think it was ever explicitly stated that's what all this was. Well, now there's official confirmation, and not just that it's linked to the New 52, but it takes place within the same continuity as the Bruce Timm Justice League show, the Cartoon Network OG Teen Titans, even the 1978 Super Friends is canon. It's a trip to have all that made official. Fun, if not pointless. Except for this immortal moment.
I care, Joker. And if it has to end, at least I go out like this, being Batman.
Fuck you, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. This is my one true Batman. You know what? One more time for those in the back!
And if it has to end, at least I go out like this, being Batman.
There are 206 bones in the human body, 207 whenever I hear Kevin Conroy's Hitachi of a voice. Now here's a highlight I wasn't expecting. Lex Luthor earns his moniker as a Smarty. Alright, so by this point in the story, the Anti-Monitor has found the Earths that have escaped into the bleed, and he's starting to destroy them one by one. But it's kind of happening at random, so nobody really knows who's getting targeted next. As it turns out, it's Lex that's been feeding the information to the Anti-Monitor. He admits this too.
Good. I was afraid you were losing your journalistic instincts. Yes, of course I did.
But his true motives are actually quite brilliant. The reason why the heroes can't beat the Anti-Monitor is because they can't gather enough data on it. It never stays long enough before destroying an Earth. So what Lex did was make sure that he sends the Anti-Monitor to an Earth that they know about. Therefore, all their scanning equipment can get that crucial information that they all need. Yes, it sacrifices an Earth, but through that sacrifice, they learn more about it and eventually learn a weakness.
My world was in just as much danger. But now we know more about this monster. Now we have a chance.
By the way, Corey Stoll as Lex, not a bad casting, either as the voice or the look. Zachary Quinto's a knob, so a worthy replacement. He'd make a better Lex than a MODOK, that's for damn sure.
There is only MODOK!
Ew. I never even saw the movie, but I feel like I dodged a bullet. Opinions? Anyway, I like Lex here. Very instrumental in progress. Woo!
I don't even have to turn around to feel Miss Lane's eyeballs glaring at me.
I must say, I didn't have the highest hopes for this final installment, but it was a high note. Does it make up for the rest of it? Yeah, I don't know about that one. You kind of have to watch 3 hours of mediocrity just to get to some slightly better content. That's a tall order if you ask me. But is it still worthwhile? But I do say that if you're a fan of Kevin Conroy like me, you have to watch this at least, because it is his final performance as the Dark Knight. Oh man. Rest in power, my dude. Forever loved, forever missed, forever remembered. And fuck Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Seriously, fuck it. My honest rating for Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3, a 4 out of 5 for Kevin Conroy alone. You know what? This is for Kev. A gentleman, a scholar, a true legend.
You sent him to rewrite history. What gave you the right?
Bit reckless, yeah.
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Hit that like or dislike button. All engagement is welcome. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. In the meantime, have a great day, stay safe and healthy out there, and hope to see you soon.
I live in New York, and after the attacks on 9/11, we were getting all these, hundreds of meals ready. And this one guy, in the middle of the night, like 3 nights into this, he goes, So my day job is I'm an architect. He says, what's your day job? I said, well, I do voices mostly. He went, I knew it. He said, you're the guy who does Batman. You're that Kevin Conroy. So he goes into this dining hall, and this is, the first week after the attack, and there'd been like just this somber sadness. And you hear him go, guys, you're not gonna believe who's been cooking your dinners. It's Batman. There's this long silence, and you hear, bullshit, from the back of the place. And he said, then someone else says, make him prove it. So I thought, oh, this is good. So I'm in the back kitchen, and I do from the back kitchen, I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. There's this long pause, and then you hear from the back of the place, holy that is Batman. And suddenly people were laughing. And the architect who had recognized me said, what's it feel like to be Santa Claus? I said, because that's what just happened here.